Veterans and the service and sacrifices that they have done for us.
Wreaths Across America volunteers will be laying more than 2 million wreaths on veterans' graves throughout the country tomorrow. And this morning, they say behind every wreath is a tree. Fox 43's Grace Griffaton traveled to Maine to learn more about one of the organization's special remembrance programs honoring our nation's heroes.
1,000 words, a picture's worth. For these women, honor, sacrifice, 2 words close to heart.
We tag these trees as a remembrance. It's a living remembrance. And this will be the family's tree now.
Chris Waltz driving a long, long way from home in York County, 700 miles to Wreaths Across America Headquarters in Columbia Falls, Maine.
They have the Stem to Stone project. And what you do is you tag trees with the name of a fallen service member.
Bringing along some friends, here to honor their loved ones.
I just lost my father January of this year, so it's still kind of fresh. And my father-in-law, although I've never met him, I honor him still.
Jackie Hall dedicating 2 dog tags.
Right, there you go.
Engraved on site. One for her dad and one for the father-in-law she never got the chance to meet.
He died in 1988. So, and we forget that there are veterans still, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I also have an uncle who was killed in Vietnam in 1969. I just want to honor my family and let them know that, I'm still thinking about them every single day.
She offered this trip. It's been almost a year in the making, and I have been super excited.
Kim Waltman says this trip means more than she can say.
It brings sadness, but yet it's such an honor, My dad, oh gosh, I'll try to get through this.
Waltman facing a tough loss, grieving her father, Bernard Phelps, an Army E-Force specialist, and her father-in-law, Roderick Waltman, Air Force Airman First Class.
Unfortunately, they died 40 days apart. So it was tough. I was still grieving, and then my husband got hit with it, and yeah, it was really tough.
Wanting to keep her family together.
I didn't know that you picked your own tree. So I put them together because my husband and I are together, so I want our dads together.
It's a remembrance tree program at Wreaths Across America.
By putting that marker and that dog tag on there, that becomes your tree. And you just know that you're part of remembering those veterans.
Like Wayne Hansen, a volunteer at Wreaths Across America.
They'll tip this eventually, and I know that tips from that will be made into the wreaths that go to a marker somewhere in some national or cemetery honoring a veteran and thanking them for their service and sacrifice.
At Wreaths Across America Headquarters, countless stories of that sacrifice.
We represent those families that can't be there to honor their loved ones.
A big part of that Nancy Willie, a tour guide at their museum.
I've taught history for 43 years, but I have learned more from the veterans, first-hand information, right since I've started working here in the museum, and I really enjoy it, yep.
Founded in 1992, Wreaths Across America has come a long way. That year, a modest 5,000 wreaths covering veterans' graves during the holidays. But now,
they've got to make 2 million wreaths, because each year there are more locations, more cemeteries and organizations call in.
The goal of bringing color to all veterans' headstones. The green of the wreaths representing longevity and endurance. The signature red bow representing sacrifice. Its shape like an eternity's time, crafted from a sea of balsam fir trees and their tips.
That tree will represent honor given to other veterans because they tip the trees for the wreaths. So it's like they both own this tree, they're part of this tree.
From the stems here to the stones all across the country, keeping members of our armed forces always in mind and heart. Reporting in Columbia Falls, Maine, Grace Griffaton, Fox 43 News.
The women were able to travel to Maine with a nonprofit organization called For the Love of a Veteran. Wreaths Across America dedicated an entire section of trees to the organization. Meanwhile, more than 5,000 wreaths are expected to arrive at Fort Indian Town Gap National Cemetery today. For a list of all the places in our area having wreath laying ceremonies this Saturday, head to our website, fox43.com.